Hi, welcome to my channel, Believe the Bible. The title makes no apologies as to what this channel is about. My intention is to try to get us back to the basic Bible truths and just believe the words on the page and understanding God's Word. There's a verse that tells us how we should understand God's Word and know His truth. It's found in 2 Timothy 2:15. It says, "Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." There are a few words in that verse that are important. Number one is study. You won't find that at any other Bible version, by the way. You won't find this verse in any other version read this way. You will not find the words rightly divided. Study tells us actually what things mean. Not just reading. Reading only tells us what something says. Someone can understand what they read and see what it says, but not necessarily understand the meaning. And that's where study comes in. And we need to be a workman, otherwise we're going to be ashamed if we're not studying God's Word properly. And he further goes on in the verse to tell us how that we should study. It says that we need to rightly divide the word of truth. Well, all God's Word is truth, but we need to rightly divide it. And it rightly implies that we need to do it correctly, which means there could be a wrong way of doing it. Now, everyone divides God's Word in some shape or form, don't they? You do. If I was to ask you, well, do you have an ark in your backyard or an altar to burn your sacrifices? You would hopefully say no to that question. And that's because you divided that section of the Bible somehow that isn't for you today. And yet, when we come to the four Gospels that are still under the law, and Jesus says to keep our commandments, and then Jesus changes his instructions when he gives Paul the dispensation of grace and the mystery gospel, the gospel of the grace of God, people don't listen to that portion of what Jesus said. And so now what do you do? Where Paul says through Jesus, don't keep the commandments, you don't have to keep the law, but Jesus says that you do need to keep the law. That could be confusing. Thus you see the reason that we need to rightly divide God's truth. It's all truth, it's just not all our truth for us today. And some of these divisions can be the law from grace, from prophecy, from mystery, from believer, from unbeliever, to Jews, from Gentiles. So these are divisions in the Bible. There's no question about it. And so my intention on this channel is to get you to think. Think of the doctrines that you believe in, the truths that you have. Put them on trial, so to speak, to make sure that what you believe is what God's Word rightly divided teaches us today, and you'll do fine. Thanks for your time.